Interfering with emergency first responder communication, is that ever a good idea? Let's talk about that. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Ham Shack TV. I'm your host, Josh, AA4WX. And this video is sponsored by the Ham Shack TV store. Go to amazon.com/shop/Ham Shack TV for the best deals you can find on Amazon for ham radio equipment, ham radio transceivers, prepper food, emergency supplies, prepper supplies, you name it, we probably have it on the Ham Shack TV store. Go check it out down below in the description. Ham Shack TV store on Amazon. So let's get started here. Interesting article I found this morning. This is from radioworld.com, and you'll see the link for this down in the description. But it says he was arguing good intentions. Jason Frawley also said he can't afford to pay the penalty. So let's get into it. Credit to Paul McLean, published today, January 6, 2025. A ham operator in Idaho must pay a record $34,000 penalty for causing interference with communications during a fire suppression effort. That's the ruling from the Federal Communications Commission in the case of Jason Frawley, amateur radio licensed Whiskey Alpha 7 Charlie, Quebec. Nice call sign. When the commission issued its notice of liability 2.5 years ago, chairwoman from the FCC, Jessica Rosenworcel, said, "You can't interfere with public safety communications, full stop." So today we propose the largest fine of its type for this interference that put fire suppression and public safety itself at risk. Frawley acknowledged that he operated on a frequency without authorization, but argued that he did not interfere with government communications and was trying to help. He asked for a cancellation or reduction, but the commission rejected his plea. It's not clear why the FCC took so long to finalize the penalty. With the forfeiture finally was adopted the day after Christmas, Commissioner Nathan Symington dissented but did not release a reason. Radio World has followed up with his office and will report any responses. Now, there's more to this article. We'll get into it in a minute, but go ahead and get in the comments. Was the guy in the wrong? I guess maybe we need a little bit more context. That's what I would like to know. What exactly was he doing? What frequencies was he on? Let's read some more and see what we find. The Federal Communications Commission said that in 2021, Frawley willfully and repeatedly operated without authorization and interfered with radio communications of the United States Forest Service, which was attempting to direct operations of fire suppression aircraft working a 1,000-acre wildfire on national forest land near Elk River, Idaho. The FCC said that over a 2-day period, Frawley transmitted 8 times without authorization on a frequency allotted to government use. The Forest Service complained about transmissions on 151.145 megahertz. According to its case summary, the frequency is in the public safety pool that was being used by the Forest Service and the Idaho Department of Lands to coordinate the firefighting. Quote, the complaint stated that the individual had caused radio frequency interference to communications with the United States Forest Service's firefighters, fire suppression aircraft. The FCC wrote, quote, the complaint alleged that on July 17th and 18th, the individual had interrupted fire suppression activities and had begun advising firefighters and aircraft personnel of hazards at a radio repeater site located at Elk Butte. The complaint also stated that the individual had identified himself on the radio as Comtech and his location as the Elk River airstrip. The FCC said that on July 18th, the fire suppression efforts section chief left the scene, drove to the airstrip, and told Frawley to cease operations on the frequency. In 2022, the FCC issued a notice of liability, as they reported at the time, and you'll be able to find that link down below. In in response, Frawley did not contest that he had operated unauthorized on a government frequency, but he made 6 transmissions, not 8. That the total duration of the transmissions, including the firefighters' responses, was less than 1 minute, and that he did not cause interference to ongoing communications. He said he made transmissions with, quote, good faith and non-malicious intent to help, end quote. That he had been given a warning before that he hadn't been given a warning before being fined. That he had a history of compliance and he couldn't afford to pay the penalty. He submitted tax forms as evidence. Frawley said his actions should be handled like those of someone who wait a minute. Frawley said his actions should not be handled like those of someone who had malicious intent or deliberately jammed signals. Instead, an admonishment would have been a more appropriate response. So let's talk a little bit more. So he was obviously in the 151, which definitely is a public safety pool. Definitely not amateur bands. That's just above the 2 meter band. Or just below, depends on how you look at it, I guess. So he was advising firefighters about hazards at the radio repeater side. That's interesting. Could an argument be made that he was trying to help? I don't see anything malicious here, in just my opinion. This will be interesting to see when Brendan Carr takes over the FCC here on January 20th, if something may happen with this particular admonishment fine from the FCC. It'll be quite interesting to see. Moving on, but the FCC is unmoved, saying, quote, we have fully considered the argument and the accompanying financial information set forth in Frawley's NAL response and subsequent filings, but we find none of them persuasive, the commission has ruled. It said the base forfeiture is $10,000 per violation for each of the 2 days that Frawley operated without a license on 151.145 megahertz, and $7,000 for each of the 2 days he caused interference to authorized stations. It added that it actually chosen not to adjust a penalty upward as it has done in certain past cases. Further, while the FCC acknowledged that one of the criteria for reducing a penalty is good faith or voluntary disclosure, it said it has no precedent for applying good faith intention in cases involving first responders. Even if it had, the commission ruled that this instance was, quote, particularly serious and could have had significant negative consequences for first responders who were fighting a significant wildfire. Also, quote, Frawley asserts that he is no longer engaging in unauthorized transmissions on public safety frequencies, and moreover, that the wide publicity surrounding this matter has already deterred similar behavior by himself and others, end quote. But the FCC said his case is different from those where a violator took affirmative steps to remedy an ongoing or persistent violation, like providing a missing application or installing missing equipment. Quote, we decline to grant downward adjustment based on the violators in action. And finally, the commission said, although Frawley's financial documents on their own could support reduction, quote, given the totality of circumstances and the facts before us, we find his ability to pay is outweighed by the nature of the violations himself and their potential threat to public safety communication. Again, this article is going to be in the description down below. Go check it out. But before you do, get in the comments and let me know what you think about this. I want to give a quick shout out and a thanks to radioworld.com for the article, as well as Paul McLean for writing the article. So get in the comments, let me know what y'all think. Also check out Radio World. A lot of great articles on there. But let me know what you think. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below and let me know Let me know that you did. Also hit the like button and share this video out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. 73s. This is AA4WX, WSEB 693.